Good morning, guys. Rick Shaw here. I got up with a heck of a backache at about 1:30. I've been trying to walk it off. It's about 3, but got up when I can, and I was thinking about things in the house here, and something that if you build your own house that you should do. Now, right here we have our bathroom, and you can see here that it's sunk. The bathroom is sunk here. Okay, which is what they do all houses. Everyone we've been in is like this, and everyone we've seen. And they did put this up here, but not here. See, not there. So what I would recommend if you come here to build and you're going to do your own house, make sure this whole door set is up here. Nothing down here, because this is going to draw water and this is going to rot. I'm actually going to see about cutting this and getting this out of here. And if you do have to have it in here because of space or something, just put a little piece of concrete or something under there to hold your frame up. And now this door right here, I'm going to cut this up. I'm going to have to cut this here. I tried to get a hold of the people at Demeterland to see if they could do it, but I'm getting crickets now from them, so they're not too happy with me. But that's just one little thing that while I'm trying to hobble around with this back. But something else too that you should do. I'll take you out here. Rooster started crowing early this morning, but this is something I should have caught. But I don't know if you can see it real good. But see how we got the hose there? That's into thoroughfare. That's something that don't do like I did and let that slip by. We go through there with something, maybe with a dolly or something, or like when we were carrying the washer, you could knock that thing off pretty easy. Now they have it stubbed out with a piece of metal, but everything behind it is just plastic. So if it gets whacked, the concrete's not gonna hold up. That metal's just gonna make the break even worse. What's happening here with this paint is it's like a rubber coating. It's real soft. Now here's our little chair we bought at the store, and the chair just leaned up against here, and look at that. The paint's real thick. I was chatting with a buddy of mine that I went to school with, grade school, and he's been a painter since, his father was a painter, and then he's got him and his brother. He's got a retarded brother, and they paint. That's what he's done his whole life. He's still painting, and he said he lives in a cement block house that he built. And he lives there with his brother, never got married, the fellow, but he said when you're putting the paint on, it needs to be the latex for this. The finish has to be really dry. And then he also said you have to thin the first couple coats out. He says you've got to thin them to water. He says basically a whitewash. Otherwise you're going to get this. I showed him on the messenger this stuff, and he says they just put it on way too thick. Now I know they put a lot of coats on, but you just touch the stuff. And I'm also seeing on other places that you can get your fingernail on and just I could probably just grab this like plastic and just peel a big piece all the way down. It wants to come right off. So, and then of course some of my neighbors are complaining about their paint and stuff like that. But just watch for that when you're here. If you're going to build yourself a house, and take good care that you don't run into this kind of stuff. I hope for us it's not going to be too much of a hassle. But time will tell. Time will tell what's going to happen. But I just was trying to hobble around this morning. I haven't been outside too much with this back. It woke me up. The dang backache woke me up. Which stupid leg is bugging me. So, but I'm gonna. Oops, wrong light. I'll turn out the outside light there. But we had our neighbors from the old house. They came for a visit. June, his wife, and their little daughter. My daughter's buddy. That's her best buddy. So that was really nice. And they're having a house built about 15 minutes from here. And he bought 3 lots, and he put his house like on the middle lot, so he has a nice yard. So they're going to be building a wall around all these, and they claim it should be done by December. That's how fast these places go. So it's not just here too, because he was showing me pictures of the house, and it's the house looks complete. You can see inside it's complete, but now they got to do this wall, and it's going to take them. They're talking about moving to December. He's got little stores around, convenience stores, and he's got one very close to here. I must have gone by it a couple times because I haven't seen it yet. So we're gonna look for that and shop with him. And if I can find it, I just haven't found it yet. But kids were all sleeping. Little Moo, he climbed in with us. And every time that happens, he's like a dang octopus, and I wind up with about that much of the bed to hang off of, mostly on the floor. He just keeps scooting over to me and shoving me off. I told Faye we got to get him to start going in the other bed. I have to have room to stretch. When I was getting up off the floor this morning, I couldn't stretch. He's just all over the place. Pick him up and move him, he just moves right back. So I don't want to wake him, so I got down here and was stretching on the steps as best I could. But wish this back would clear up and just get over with. It's been dragging on for a while now, and I do my regular exercises that I've done for my whole life, to keep this at bay. But it's just, I think it might be the cooler weather here got the scar tissue swollen up again, because it's hitting me pretty good this time. But I'm going to get out here and go for a walk in a little bit. It's cool enough here where I got a sweatshirt. I have a sweatshirt upstairs I'm going to put on, because I was out just showing you the spigot. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool out there. We had some days like that in Carmona too, where I was wearing the sweatshirts. It was kind of cool, but not too bad. Excuse me. It was cold enough. My nose got runny. So that's something. But we had our spaghetti yesterday. That was really fantastic. But Faye was out with her mom, and they did some shopping. She picked up some avocados, which I was glad of. They're starting to come into season here, and the price really dropped on them. I can eat the heck out of them avocados, and the kids like them too. The weird thing here in this country that, when I eat an avocado my whole life, and the way my kids eat it, because they like it the way I like it, is put a little salt on it. Well, my wife, she puts sugar, and her mom, they put sugar on it. I tried it once. I don't like to eat sugar, but I just tried it, just a little nip to see what it tastes like, and it was just absolutely miserable. I can't believe the amounts of sugar that Filipinos will gulp down. It's just too much. It's just way too much. They shouldn't do it. But also all the high fructose corn syrup and everything. You look at they call it soft drinks here. You can't say soda or pop, because nobody knows what the heck you're talking about, especially out here, because the English is not like it was in Carmona. A lot of people, pretty much everybody I could get by, but here there's people that I went in there and asked for an orange soda, because there's one brand of pop here they sell. It says sugar on the label. There's no high fructose corn syrup and all that crap. So, and it's a certain brand, a local brand, and so I asked that, and the woman she was the older lady. She was like, and then another woman in her 40s came up, and I said, I'm pointing at it, I said, I'd like to have that orange soft drink, and they're like lost. So it was like, oh boy, okay, well, finally a real young girl played on a cell phone. She couldn't have been more than 10, 12 maybe. And I said, excuse me, little one, could you tell them I'd like to have that orange soft drink there? And she, yeah, and she blah, 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 and then they handed it out. Yeah. So I don't know what else to call it. Sometimes here in this country, this is the funniest thing, and this happens quite a lot. It happens a lot. I'll go in there and ask them, like for the orange soft drink. that little girl basically said to that woman, orange soft drink, the exact same thing I said. Then they knew what it was, but then when you're saying it, I think they just go blank. You know, they just go blank when a foreigner's speaking to them, because they say the same thing. My wife, one time I was pulled up and asked the guard, I said, this was at our other place, I said, where's a place I can go get propane from? And he was like, voila. I looked at my wife, and she leaned over the seat. She was doing something on her phone. I said, ask him where I can get some propane from. You know, I figured she was going to ask him in Tagalog, and she just looked at him and said, where could we get some propane? And he goes, oh, right over there. So you're going to run into that, guys. If you're a Kano and you're coming here, or a foreigner, they just they'll go blank on you just because a foreigner's speaking to them. So it was like when we were at the barber shop yesterday. That guy wasn't understanding a dang word I said, and I was having my wife tell him, and she was telling him pretty much in English, and he was getting it. So it was, it's kind of funny, but we'll go back to there. He did a nice job on the kids. The boys look really good, and real friendly people. They were just nice. It seems like this whole area, I haven't really seen any foreigners here. When I was in Lipa, I thought I would see quite a few more, because when we first came down to look at the house, I met a couple foreigners here. One guy named George from Kansas, and he said they go down to the McDonald's on Sunday mornings. That was when I was over at the mall, and but since I've really been here, I just haven't seen any. When we were first looking at the house, I met some Australians, a bunch of people. We saw one Australian in the store where we got the range hood, and I was telling them about getting a better deal on stuff, and that's pretty much it. There's just doesn't seem to be so many, unless they're all staying in. Maybe it's too cold for them. with this breezy weather we're getting, guys. If you don't like the heat and you don't want to afford to gai tai, Lipa City, Batangas is so much cooler. I was saying it's 15 degrees cooler, and I'm going to stick by that. 15 to 20 degrees cooler than. And even when our neighbor June was here and his wife, we were sitting around BSing last night, and he said, oh, it's so much cooler here. He says, we're just in the oven of Carmona, and I don't know why it's out. It's more like a level plain there. Here it's mountainy, so you've got the fluid of the air pouring around. There's a big mountain over here. When we go over by this river down this way, when you get over by that wall, you can just feel the cold air pouring out. It's blowing up the hill. There's always a breeze, and it's like pouring over the wall. And then when I got over to way down there, it's real steep. You look down the wall, and it's almost like a sheer drop-off all the way down to the bottom. You couldn't feel the cool air, but as you walk down, and I think that cold air is pouring off the mountain, and then it hits that shallow area right by us, and then it pours up over the top. Air's not a liquid. We talked about this on one of the other videos. It's a fluid, and that's why I got that refrigerator I got. Because of the kids opening the door all the time. We keep the stuff the kids like in that little door, and then all the cold air doesn't pour out. It's a little bit cheaper to run. We're not running anything real heavy because we're still on temporary power. We had our first power outage last night. The fan quit. It wasn't, I think it was about 11:30, something like that, and it was off for about 20 minutes. There was actually an electrical truck came pulling up in here, and my wife got up and hollered at him to tell him power's out. But right over the wall, over there, is the electric company. That's the electric company right there, and their lights were on. But this whole development was completely off. The streetlights were on because they're solar, but the streetlights that were on, the power, the one over in the corner, all that was out. None of the houses were lit, and a lot of the people have lights. We're thinking of getting one of them solar lights and putting it out there. I also want to put some like coach lamps out on the front. It's all stuff we're going to get to because we've got so much to do. This month, I kind of overspent, but one of the things I got was this really nice table with the 2 chairs built in and all that. And I'm going by what I preach on the channel. If you see something that you like, you better grab it, because if you go back for it a week later or something, or even after that, you may never see it again. Now, when we were up at the store, again, they don't have another one of these. They don't have that, and it was 9,800 peso for that, and no discount or anything like that. So, but we did get a card. We got a card now for the store, which they tossed in, so maybe that'll give us a discount. Everything gives you a stupid card for discounts here. It's like our buddy down here, he's going to let us go get the card when we get the furniture. But I had to grab that. It was one of them deals where, it was out of my budget, but if I wouldn't have grabbed it, we may have not seen it, and it's perfect for here. It's just absolutely perfect. The kids ate on it. That leaf folds out. That leg thing comes out, and it's got 2 chairs that slide in. Stools. They're more like little bar stools, but great little table. I got a cutting board on it. Yesterday when I was cutting the garlic and onions and tomatoes and everything, I was doing it right on there with the big cutting board. It was kind of cool. And we really like our range hood here. When you put it on high, you can just see it sucking the heat and blowing it up here, so I'm not getting blasted when I'm cooking. We do have to a lot of times keep this door closed right now because the breeze, and I'm having second thoughts about raising this up because right now I'll have to even turn the light on because of the wind. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a board here and even bring it up like this a little bit, because the wind is just blowing the burners out. So far, though, the way things go, this stove is very, very efficient on the gas compared to our tabletop stove we had. That thing really, we noticed a 2-week difference in our propane with that stove from the old one. So it's sitting outside. We won't be using it that much. But this one seems very efficient. I just checked the gas bottle. I got a pressure thing on it, and a little thing tells you how full it is. And it's not down much at all. It's not even down a quarter. It's maybe down a little bit more than an eighth of what it started at. So, because I always mark it. I mark it with a Sharpie on there. So it seems to be very efficient. We haven't fired the oven up yet, but I have a big roast. I'm going to go ahead and roast it. We usually do everything on the pressure cooker, because you guys, when you come here, everything's propane bottles here or electric, both of which aren't cheap. So if you're gonna come here, I'm telling you, I highly recommend you get yourself a pressure cooker. It's just gonna save you so much propane. And we gave our old one to Mama, and this one here, I got a nice stainless one. And the other thing we use quite a bit is this turbo cooker. It's very inexpensive to run. It's basically a convection oven. That's all it is. And we can put that on any pot. The glass pot on the bottom we broke, so we were using it on the old pressure cooker. But I'm going to pick up another one of these. I'm just watching for a sale, so we can have 2 of them. I can always use one of them to keep stuff warm. One of the things you'll find here if you're a foreigner, and it was something that just really shocked me, was cold food. You'll go to parties and stuff like that, and everything's ice cold. They cook it, they make it, and then they put it on the table, and it just goes cold. And that was something hard for me to take. I was always, I like to put hot food out. That's when I make dinner, and I say, come on, time to sit down and eat, and nobody wants to start moving. I'm like, hey, get your butts in here now. You get this food while it's hot. You don't dilly-dally. Get in here. And, I remember when I was very young, my father had a business going, and he always had parties at the house and people coming over, and my mom would cook these big meals, and we all were in the party. It was a big house, big yard, big pool in the back, and plenty of room for people to come. Well, if my mom took a case of the ass against somebody, she'd have a special dinner for them. Everybody else would get hot food, and she'd serve them a plate of cold food. And that was their cue saying, don't come back. And they wouldn't. And that's why it was hard for me to understand that it's not that they're doing that to Filipino, it's how they'll serve you cold food. I actually went to a restaurant one time, and they had cold food. When you got the point foods behind the little glass, they'll give you something cold. I was shocked at that. In the United States, they're not allowed to give you anything cold. And you have to be careful of that, because sometimes you'll eat that. Filipinos, their stomachs can take it. But you'll come here and you'll eat that cold food, and you'll get the squirts, I'm telling you. The next day you'll be Hershey squirting like you wouldn't believe. Make your butt raw. So, watch that. Make sure your food is hot. And they don't have any problem. You can ask them to heat it up for you. They'll heat it up. They don't take a case of the ass or offense or anything. They'll gladly do it for you. You know what I mean? And they don't say nothing about it. I remember one of my buddies was talking about a foreigner was there at the house, and he didn't like the idea of the cold food, and he asked if it could be heated up, and his wife heated it up, and I said, oh, did that make you feel funny? I just it was a question, because it's the same thing happened to me. And he said, oh, no, we understand, you Kanos aren't used to that, used to it, but we eat cold food all the time. My baon at lunchtime gets cold, blah, blah, blah. Me, when I went to work, I always had something to keep my food warm. I used to have a real nice tin, and it had like one of those hand warmers that you stick in your pocket. It's like a lighter, and I could keep that going to keep my lunch warm if I had some leftover stew or something. Which I usually ate fruit and stuff, but in the wintertime it was always good to have something hot, but not a whole lot. Just something small, but something hot. And then a lot of times, guys would bring a little cooker, to heat up. I had one buddy that had used to put his hoagie sandwiches in one of them socks. You ever see those socks with the 2D batteries to keep your feet warm? He'd put his hoagies in that, and turn that thing up full blast, and then he'd wrap it all in foil and leave it in his car, and he'd be pulling his hoagie sandwiches out. They'd be steaming hot. That was, you start doing stuff. But here, what we're going to do, when we were at the mall, I believe True Value was one of the stores. There was a bunch of stores. You can get really nice barbecue grills. I mean, just absolutely fabulous. Just like what you can get in the States. Stainless steel, real nice brass burners. And I think I'm going to get one for out there. I wanted to get a glider for there, but instead I'm going to wind up getting a cabinet, put the oils and fluids and tools and stuff. And then I think I want to put a big barbecue grill out there, and then extend that wall out so that it's kind of in the back a little bit, so that the wind doesn't blow everything out. But barbecue grills usually can take more wind than anything else. We'll see how that works. But I want to start grilling again. When I lived in the States, even when there was a foot of snow on the ground, I was outside grilling. I just love the barbecue grill. I actually lived in one place where I had a barbecue grill down in the basement, and I could, right up above it, I could open up the window, and in the wintertime, it was always drawing the air out, because the way that house was fed was gravity, so the heat would go up, and it was always dropping back down to the basement. And I could just crack that window a little bit, and whatever smoke I had from the grill would just get sucked right out. It would get sucked out between the houses. It was pretty cool. So I barbecued down there all the time. And I love to barbecue. I just do. I'm not one that'll burn the food, because the black carbon for you off of any kind of meat is just absolutely horrible for your health. You don't want to do that. And here, when you come to the Philippines, they do one thing when they do cook meats and stuff. They cook the living heck out of it, and they'll hand you'll go to a place and they'll give you a black piece of meat. And I won't eat I don't want to eat the black carbon. It's very unhealthy for you. If you start looking it up online, you'll see it's very unhealthy for your body. I like to cook it good, but not as good not as good as they do here. I actually went to the one chicken place up here and just was looking. When I was walking the other day, I was looking for a beer, and they have a chicken place, and I went by, and I'm not kidding you, these chickens, they had them on a rotisserie thing, and they were black. I mean, they were just completely black, and I was like, well, it's easy on a chicken. You can just peel the skin off, but I'm sure they were as dry as a bone inside, as black as they had them cooked. But they were selling them. You know, I walked past, and that guy was serving them out to people. People were coming home and grabbing them. So I guess it all depends on what you grow up on. So, but this is just my early morning. It's got to be what, 3:30 now, something like that. Yeah, it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm up. I get up. You know something, guys? Talking to you is kind of my therapy, honest. I'm glad that I get a lot of comments, and you guys like to watch the show, but it takes my mind off of this back. That's what it's been doing. This vlog started out as something that I did for my kids, but it's turning out to be more beneficial for us as a family. And especially me, because my back was hurting so bad this morning, and then I get on there and start chatting with you, and I just forget about it, and then I just get up and start moving around my day, putting up with this like I have to. But you guys help me forget about it when I just, you guys know me, I tend to yak a long time, but I have been looking at the view counts and all this stuff. You guys are watching them. Always stay to the end. I always put a cool little picture in there somewhere, something I find on the net or somebody sends me. I like to put a little something or another in there every time. I did get somebody saying that they were sent a questionnaire about my channel. You can see that in the comments. If anybody else happened, find out, because I'm curious. I did have a troll that was really on me for a while. He's a dude that's here, but he's pretty much backed off. I haven't heard from him in a long time. But he was definitely complaining about the channel, to YouTube. They're hitting me with every time he went on there. Did like a report thing or something on the channel, and I think that's why I wasn't monetized for so long, because he was just on my butt. But pretty much it's everything's been positive, and I like to anything you guys want. I want to try to pick up some more things. It's just we haven't been getting out that much. We're watching the gas right now. My wife has a reserve of some money sitting on there, but we don't want to go through it and then just be completely broke. So I'm not even putting gas in the car right now. Anything we're doing, I'm walking, doing it local. The freezer's full. It's completely packed. We got our friends coming over to the 22nd, but I already got the stuff for that dinner when they come. They were going to stay the weekend, and so we have it. Plenty of spaghetti. All kinds of meat in there. We got a bunch of veggies and stuff. We have the money for more veggies. So we really like the potatoes here, and so we have to get the fresh stuff every week. And my wife likes to get bread and stuff, so we have for that. But I got to just watch everything. No trips back to Carmona. No running around and spending. And then next month. Hopefully my check will be cleared and we can get a couch in here and get the table ordered and all that. It's just waiting. And the sad thing is I'm not going to take the run into town until next month. It could be okay today. I never know when they're going to okay it. And I can't call. I'm not allowed to call my own bank. And for some reason it's a dollar peso account. I can look. The other bank I can go online. I have PS Bank. I can look online. I got this security. I can look online. This bank I can't look online. That account is now. My wife has an account there, and she can look online. She can look at hers online. But this one, they wouldn't let me have a debit card with it. It had to be one of them passbook. It wasn't allowed to be debit or anything. You know, they got these rules on there, and and you cannot look those up. Even my kids got the passbook accounts. You can't go online to look them up. They don't allow it here for some reason. If anybody knows any different bank that where they do allow it, I'd like to know. But I haven't heard any, and we use 4 different banks here. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get up and take my walk. Hopefully we can get a nice little pup soon in here. So I got a companion in the morning to walk with. My kids usually get up, but when I start waking up this early in the morning, I'm not gonna wake them up to go. When we were in Carmona, Maddie, sometimes I'd wake up at 3 in the morning and get ready for a walk. He'd come walking with me. He's always my little my walking partner. If I'm going somewhere, he has to go, no matter if it's a walk or not. And sometimes we'd walk in the morning. We'd walk all up around, and he loved to walk. And then he'd come home and just go crash out again. He's my little shadow, and I just love that kid. He looks cool with his haircut too. He sat there and was just real cool in the barber chair, and Mumu was like making faces that he didn't like it, but he was putting up with it. So you guys take care. Thank all you guys, and bless you all from the good Lord above for supporting the channel. I know there's a lot more of you out there than what YouTube says there is, and I appreciate all you guys. So this is Rick Shaw.